Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1 and 2.
Good evening. Toppenish High School welcomes you tonight to Wildcat Stadium, home of the Bob Winters Field, for tonight's football contest between the visiting Mount Baker Mountaineers and our very own Toppenish Wildcats. At this time, we would like to thank the Toppenish Fire Department for their commitment, their dedication, and their assistance to Wildcat football. And now for these starting lineups. We'll begin with the visitors from Mount Baker. We're going to go with their offensive starters. Their quarterback, number 2, Landon Smith. Running backs, number 9, Marcus George. Number 44, Brady West. The wide receivers, number 12, Landon Henstead. Number 21, Hayden Ross. Forgive me if that's Ross. Tight end, number 24, Dylan Moa. And the line at guard, number 67, Ethan Larson. And number 58, Drake Pinky. The center, number 63, Vance Lawrence. And the 2 tackles, number 74, Jesse Harward. And number 64, Alex Mavali. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the defensive starting lineup for our own Toppenish Wildcats. Starting at defensive tackle number 57, Joshua Luna. At the other tackle number 77, Daryl Leslie. Nose tackle number 67, Elon Cripps. At linebacker number 23, Nick Cortez Jr. Linebacker number 44, Seth Ordaz. Linebacker number 55, Luis Mendoza. Linebacker number 6, Leonardo Betancourt. The strong safety number 32, Luis Gatica. And the free safety number 4, Adrian Villanueva. And at corner number 22, Damian Villegas. And at the other corner, number 7, Jeremiah Zuniga. The Mountaineers are coached by Mr. Ron Lepper, Mr. Tom Korsman, Mr. Dave Galbraith. And the Wildcats are coached by their head coach, Mr. Jason Smith, assisted by Mr. Ray Hernandez, Miguel Jimenez, Ivan Macias, Che Maltos, Eddie McCord, Jacob Mortensen, Steve Romero, Anthony Espinoza, Martel Flores, Mario Herrera, Isaac Aguirre. Your officials for this game tonight, all from the Yakima Valley Football Association. Your referee, Mr. Gary Daly. Gary, take a bow. Umpire, Juan Rodriguez. Juan, put your hand up. We want to see. There you go. Head lineman, Todd Taylor. Thank you, Todd. Line judge, Frank Navarro. And the back judge, Mr. Jason Ornelas. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise? If you haven't already done so, please remove your caps for the national anthem as we honor America and her flag, done so tonight. The Toppenish High School Band under the direction of Mr. Gore.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you may be joining us. This is the THS Digital Media Network. Tonight features a rematch of last season's quarterfinal matchup between the Mount Baker Mountaineers and the home team, the Toppenish Wildcats. Hello, everybody, again, back on the mic here. Antonio, Tony D. Dominguez, and what an important matchup we have for you here tonight. Two teams, both with the 1-1 record early on in this season, hoping to make a statement to the rest of the state that they can compete at the top level. And here tonight, a ranked opponent, the Mount Baker Mountaineers versus the Toppenish Wildcats. Winner of this one surely is going to look good in the rankings later on this week, and if not, throughout the season. And considering this might be one of the most important matchups for football seeding purposes anyways, depending on how the season goes for both these teams. Of course, the Wildcats welcoming in from the west side, the Mount Baker Mountaineers, playing at a different 1A league, of course, playing with a mixture of different teams at multiple levels, both from 1A, 2A, and 3A and 4A, I believe, as well. So they have the ability to play multiple teams, different size schools, and everything. And let's see what they have in store for us here tonight versus the Toppenish Wildcats.
Candy,
popcorn, of course, last time these two teams met up, Mount Baker Mountaineers running a run-heavy offense out of the double wing T, using two running backs to get their offense on the move. And of course, the Wildcats hoping to settle back into their defense and perhaps provide a much-needed stoppage on offense on the opposing team. Can the Wildcats find their rhythm and their look and their identity on defense? Of course, if you did not, unfortunately, last week's game versus the Washougal versus Washougal was not broadcast in any type of way. We apologize for those limitations. Of course, if you happen to make it all the way out there, thank you for joining us. I, of course, was out there for a little bit. Had a couple of friends join me and, of course, enjoyed the area, enjoyed the sightseeing and everything. What a great environment it is over there down on the border of Oregon and Washington State. Of course, got to cross the Bridge of Gods, as they call it down there in the Washougal area, heading into the Oregon area. So great things, great sights and everything, and we are just moments away from kickoff. And also like to thank previously filling in for me our broadcast partners, we like to call them, I guess, at this point, or should I say affiliates or something, I don't know. Michael Lofty and Mr. Ryan Christensen, I believe. I'm going to have to look up the names. Over from Royal High School, the Royal High School Media Network over there. I'd like to thank them for filling in for me there at the first game here. Unfortunately, unable to be here due to prior commitments. And so I listened back to that game in its entirety. My, oh my, did they present a very quality game.
Number 25,
and we hope that they continue a great season over there at Royal, at least broadcast-wise. And if we meet up again, well, I guess it might be a battle of who gets to broadcast who. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe we have a joint session with all 2-3 of us on crew.
And back for the Mountaineers.
But anyways, we are moments away from kickoff. Game 3 of this season. And here we go. Making it around to the 20-yard line. Mount Baker can't hang on to it. Not able to get a single return, so the Mount Baker Mountaineers are going to get started at their own 20-yard line. Looks like the officials mark it at the 8-19, looks like. 18 officially.
10 for the Mountaineers.
19, looks like, there we go, already making adjustments.
At their own 19-yard line.
So here we go. Game time. Of course, the Wildcats with a slow start last week over at Washougal. We're down 9-7 early on in the first quarter, and hoping to prevent anything serious here. And, of course, first rushing attempt
Brady West, ball carrier, number 44. Check that.
For the Mountaineers,
9, Marcus
Brady West,
George.
one of their 2 running backs. Much like last season, nothing much has changed offensively for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. Running out of the wing T, 2 running backs, at least in the backfield. So run heavy, power. Here we go. West again, and being met at the line. Minimal gain there.
Another running play, number 44,
About 1
Brady
yard.
West.
I think that's one of the
Tackled
things
by
that
the
the Mount Baker
Wildcat.
Mountaineers are going to
Number
try to
16,
test this
Leonardo
evening,
Bettencourt.
is whether or not the Toppenish Wildcat defense, and that's where the Wildcats lost a lot of their strengths, a lot of their experience from all the graduating seniors
3rd down, 7 yards to go for
from
the
last
first.
season, such as Rocket
37.
Clock and Khalid Sampson, who are both playing at the collegiate level now. Probably provides some missed experience there, and another attempt there at the wall as the quarterback tried to keep it, looks like. And indeed it was the
Brady West
sweep
again,
around
ball carrier,
Landon Hadstead.
gain of a couple.
And so they're going to go
That
4th
is
down and
4th
about
down for
5.
the
So
Wildcat-
let's see what they're going to
excuse me,
do
for the
on this
Mountaineers.
side of the field. Let's see if they're going to punt it away, if they're going to go for it. Looks like they're going to punt it away. Well, if
4th
you're
down.
primarily a running team, you want to take advantages as many possessions as you get.
Alex
But
Maloli is
when you're
the
facing off against a potent
punter for the
offense that the Toppenish
Mountaineers.
Wildcats have, and already
And a flag on
another
the flag.
a flag coming out for the first time here tonight in this contest. What's it going to be? I'm not sure if they call timeout or something. Let's see if it's a flag or they're going to pick it up. What's going on here? It looks like the officials are communicating on the sideline. It looks like it will
false
be.
start penalty against Mount Baker.
It's going to be against the Mountaineers of Mount Baker. It's going to send the back 5 yards, so all the more reason to punt this one away.
4th and 10.
Alex
after the
Maloli.
5-yard penalty.
To be punting this one away for the Mountaineers. 10:15 remaining here in the first quarter, 4th down. And a mile to go. 4th down and about 10 to be exact. And here we go. Maloli, oh no, partially blocked, I believe, but the Wildcats are just going to have to let that one go. And looks like they're going to start
And
from
the punt
the
is down
Mount Baker
inside
47-yard,
Mount Baker
46-yard line
territory,
looks like.
46-yard lines. Where the Wildcats
And
will
so
have
last
their
week,
very
if you did not
first
read up on the
down.
stats, if you didn't get to catch up on all the action that was occurring down over there in Washougal, Joshua Perez throwing close to 350 passing yards on 5 touchdowns. Leading receiver Shane Rivera with close to 100 receiving yards off 6 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Definitely a game changer during certain critical moments of the game early on. Joshua Perez hats it off in the middle. And there we go. First rush there for
Timmy
Timmy
Torres.
Torres. He's going to
Ball
gain
carrier,
about 3.
and he is down to the 43-yard line.
Timmy Torres didn't get a lot of rushing
Gain of
action there,
4,
was
2nd down
limited.
and 6.
Did have the most carries out of all the running backs. We know that the Wildcats are trying to run a little bit more of a committee, both to give some rest to Timmy Torres and also just provide a different look for the Wildcats on the ground from their pistol offense at this point. But of course, running with a variety of looks here this season, now with their new offensive coordinator and Miguel Jimenez running the show down there for the Wildcats on offense. Let's see what the Wildcats are going to take advantage of here. A couple of substitutions coming in. 2nd down and about 7 yards to go. Maldonado running across, and again, Torres holding it off and gains about another yard on that exchange. It's going to be 3rd down.
Timmy Torres again, the ball carrier. Short gain of maybe
Timmy
a yard.
Torres is doing everything right now early on in this contest. Of course, with great starting field position after that low punt, I guess we could call it. It wasn't necessarily blocked, but you can definitely see the pressure coming towards the Mount Baker punter.
3rd down
And
and 6.
had second thoughts about it. Was feeling a little antsy there. Maldonado again motioning across, gets the toss. Oh no, and being met in the backfield there by the Mount Baker Buccaneers. Mountaineers.
Isaiah Maldonado, the ball carrier,
He's met
tackled
there by
by
Drake Peakey and Alex Malloy.
Maloli from
So
Mount
it's going to
Baker.
be fourth
Facing
down,
a
and
fourth
what a
down.
good opportunity there for the Mount Baker defense to put a stop to any rhythm that the Wildcat offense had. Fourth down. We've been mentioning, of course, the Wildcats
Joshua
didn't really
Perez
do a lot of
back to punt.
punting last game, and we know special teams, especially on the punting long snapper end, has been an issue early on in this season. Let's hope the Wildcats
Deep from
are
Mount
able to keep
Baker,
it
number
consistent
2,
here
Landon
tonight.
Smith.
So Joshua Perez putting up a high arcing punt and punts backwards. The ball's going there, and where are they going to put it at? I believe it's going to be from where the player first touched it, and missed opportunity there. Joshua Perez not able to get his leg under it. And the wind is a little bit breezy right now, so perhaps that could have been another cause of it. And I believe there's another penalty here. Let's see where they're going to put it at now. I believe they're just trying to spot the ball correctly here at this point. We don't know exactly where that will be coming in at. Referees are still trying to spot it. And it's kind of weird because essentially the Mount Baker Mountaineers are going to be gifted great field position here early on in this contest. Something that the Toppenish Wildcats did not want to do here early on in this contest. Wildcats trying to get the correct personnel in while the officials discuss the penalty
Illegal shift
decline.
penalty against the Wildcats.
And so
Penalty
now
declined. After the penalty, 1st and 10,
ball
Mount Baker
will be placed at the Wildcat 48-yard line.
at the 48-yard line of the Wildcats.
And so this is going to be interesting. Can the Wildcat defense step up after that miscue on special teams? 8:34 remaining here in this first quarter. Thank you for joining us. This is the THS Digital Media Network. Quarterback under center, gets it off to the fullback. Running, charts it, Marquis George, able to gain a huge one there for 12 yards. And that's what you got to worry about when an offense is strictly running and strictly power. Can your man match up with the power, with the aggressiveness, with the assertiveness that they have, that the offense naturally brings in this type of formation? And you mentioned, mentioning at the top of the show, the inexperience at the defensive line position, especially, that was lost with Kadeem Sampson and Rocco Clark graduating last season. And here we go, long ball, go, and nowhere near there. And good coverage.
Pass incomplete
by the Wildcats.
21, Aiden
Jeremiah Zuniga trying to stay close to Aiden Rose, just a junior for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. It's going to bring up second down after that incomplete pass. So quarterback Landon Smith, the leader of this football team, under center. Marquise George and Brady West, the two main running backs here. And is there any type of movement? And I believe, looks like the referees are going to get an offsides on the Wildcats.
Appears to be against
and already
the Wildcats.
The same thing that plagued the
5-yard
Wildcats
mark
last week. 2 penalties already. But what else do you expect when you have a bit of an inexperienced crew still trying to learn the game a little bit, especially at this speed, at this level? Are they able to round things out here before the end of this game? Back towards me, Marquette George again. And another huge gain and another first down there for the Mount Baker Mountaineers.
Marcus George again.
Fresh set of downs coming up. And the Wildcats right now just not able to stop the run in any way.
Just enough yardage for first down.
You gotta have those D linemen be aware that they're running the ball. There's no need to rush up too hard up the field, because at any moment they can either toss it, they can counter it, they can do so many things, especially when you're under center. There's nothing but full power ahead of you. There he goes. West gets the handoff, working and set Tordes, and now a bunch of
Brittany
Wildcats
West,
trying to get it
ball
off.
carrier.
Oh, is there Obama? No, there isn't, and then the referee's stopping that play immediately. Almost looked like Nick Cortez was going to come out with the ball. Perhaps a turnover. The referee said West was down before any of that action occurred. The Wildcats right now learning the hard way. I mean, you got to get this
8-4,
experience.
second down and 6.
You got to go through some of these tough roads. Quick pass. Caught there by Rose. Hayden Rose on the reception. So first completed pass of this contest, only the second pass attempted here early on in this first quarter.
Another first down.
So first down and 10. The Mount Baker Mountaineers, you know what their strategy is? Run that clock. Run the ball down the Wildcat defense throat. Keep that ball moving. Have your defense play a great game, perhaps maybe even the best game they're going to play all this season. Prevent the Wildcats from going off on offense.
From the 15-yard line, first and 10.
And then guess what? You make this game about time, not about how much you can score. Underneath, hand it off. Marquis George now getting to the corner. Can he get to the end zone? Referee is going to call him down just short
at the 2-yard line.
The 2-yard line. And the Wildcats have yet to find an answer up front. Well, that's one of the problems right now you're seeing with the D-line. They're just not able to get any type of penetration. In fact, they look like they're getting moved around a little bit there up front. All the Wildcat D-line has to do is you don't have to necessarily beat your man. You just make sure you don't get beat. Stay in your position to at least prevent minimal gain. And then if you don't, maybe you get to make a play in the backfield, but so far that hasn't been the case here tonight. And so referees looking for a correction here. Looks like they got an equipment timeout here as they're just trying to get their stuff straight. So the Mount Baker Mountaineers with the first opportunity here at the 2-yard line to get the first score on the board. Can the Wildcats hold? We're about to find out. Oh, quarterback sneak it, and it looks like it will be a touchdown.
Touchdown, Mount Baker.
Landon Smith with the first score of the game, and the Wildcats behind 6-0.
Landon Smith
early on here in the first quarter.
Keeper.
That's what we were talking about. Tough offensive line up front, running the ball. Hey, are you better than me? Are you stronger than me? Are you faster than me? Are you wanting this more than I do? And right now on this series, that's what the Mount Bakers Mountaineers provided, and that kick will be up and good. 7-0 now for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. Early on in this contest, 7-0, 6:38 remaining here in the first quarter. Wildcats, much like last week, down early. Are they able to correct and get back on rhythm? Take a small break, be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. And welcome back here on the THS Digital Media Network. About 7:30 remaining here in the first quarter. 7-0 is the score. And it looks like the home stadium is suffering with some scoreboard issues here, so we apologize for that. Of course, if you're watching this on the live stream, you may be seeing minimal effects at this point. But either way, some issues here with new equipment that's been installed this season. Here is the kicker, Tanyan Stanton, getting ready to get this possession going. Now Mount Baker Mountaineers know they have a tough opponent in front of them. Don't be surprised if they try an onside or something at some point during this contest. So the Wildcats able to corral that one in. Torres running with it, finding a lane on the outside. And the Wildcats are going to get some decent field position here at the 40-yard line, their own 40-yard line. First down and 10.
Ball's on the 40-yard line of the Wildcats.
So the Wildcats so far haven't really attempted a pass. They're just trying to run it so far. We don't know exactly what the game plan here is tonight, but when you know you have to try to wear down that defense, it's going to take a lot. And maybe perhaps that's what the Wildcats' game plan is to run that ball, tire out that Mount Baker defense, and then from a look at the starting lineups, close to 10 two-way starters. So perhaps by the end of this game, there's going to be a lot of tired bodies.
Number 23, Nick
here for the Mount Baker
Jr.
Mountaineers.
With the reception of about 8 yards.
So an 8-yard reception there, completed pass by Joshua Perez. So great opportunity here for these players to get more experience. And of course, Joshua Perez having a great contest. No turnovers last week versus Washougal. Washougal Panthers, of course, located down near the Oregon-Washington State border. And incomplete pass there, perhaps behind the line. Oh no! Turnover, it was behind the line. What's going to be called? And the Wildcats able to get back on it. What a dangerous play. It'd be pretty interesting to know what kind of film the Mountaineers watched this week. Third down and about 8 to go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
because the Wildcats last week
we just don't have it
were
up on
running
the board yet.
A lot of screens and, of course, a lot of running plays to begin the first half. Obviously, that changed in the second half a bit.
8.
But right now, Mountaineers, looks like they have a lock on defense on what the Toppenish Wildcats are trying to do here early on in this first quarter. And timeout's going to be called by the Wildcats.
During this timeout,
as they're not liking what they're seeing out there. Anyways, folks, 7-0. Mount Baker Mountaineers up. We're going to take a small break. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network.
Five minutes, 42 seconds left in the first quarter.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, on the THS Digital Media Network. Third and about 8 yards to go after the timeout called.
Third down and 8.
As the Wildcats did not like what they saw out there. Now Joshua Perez running around trying to find somewhere to go, only going deep. Throws it, Rivera able to get a catch, but still stuck near behind the line of scrimmage, and tackle near the 40-yard line, so barely able to get
Shane Rivera
to the line of scrimmage, or at least near it. Looks like they're going to lose 2 on it.
Field.
And a flag going to go against the Wildcats, third of this contest already. Well, the Wildcats, again, with the penalty problems. Last week versus the Washougal Panthers, 15-plus penalties in that contest. Well over 200 penalty yards given to the Washougal Panthers. Now, the Panthers, of course, did not have the offensive firepower that they probably could have had But when you have somebody like the Mount Baker Mountaineers who are at least capable of efficiently running the ball, that's going to spell trouble. And with the defense not holding here for the Wildcats, it's not looking good. The Wildcats are going to have to find something that works sooner rather than later. Otherwise, this contest is not about how much you can score. It's about who can keep the ball the longest. Perez able to get the snap, barely off, and again another flag. Down on the floor, on the field, I should say.
On the play.
And if this is against the Wildcats, that's already 4 penalties. And again, 4th penalty
shift against the Wildcats.
Against the Wildcats. Is this going to be another penalty-ridden game? Because if it is, against an opponent like the Mountaineers, this is not looking good. Indeed, it's not, and it's still a somewhat early season, week 3 here. And a lot of inexperience on that field. We know they have to get adjusted to game speed and have to learn the ins and outs as you play, literally. But right now, just simple mistakes on special teams, putting both the defense and the offense in tough positions. And so here we go, and the way we're looking at things right now, it's going to be another repunt. 4th penalty already for the Wildcats. Long snap is off, and Perez able to get the punt off. And back
and the
at the Mountaineers' own 34-yard line.
At their own 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
1st down and 10. Wildcats, of course, with Rocco Clark and Canute Sampson leaving the graduating from the program here at Toppenish High School, moving on and playing at the collegiate level now. Having to find new talent, new players to learn the system. And what is going on again? Are they going to repunt it again? This is going to be the 3rd punt again. What is going on here? And another flag. That's their 5th flag. 5th flag of the contest. Unbelievable. Remember, we mentioned already the Wildcats committing 15-plus penalties last week versus Washougal. And look at this again. Already the 5th penalty of this contest. They can't even punt the ball right now. They need to find it. Need to find the rhythm quick. And yes. Going to be brought down, another flag. 6th flag, unbelievable.
Tackle made by the Wildcats, number 30.
And so are they going to rebound? Well, this time looks like it's going to go against
another flag on the
Mount Baker Mountaineers. And
that's a
finally,
block in the back.
6 total penalties, 5 of them going against the Wildcats. Rhythm needs to be found soon. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at a very, very disappointing contest. It's that discipline. It's getting used to the speed. It's getting used to knowing where you got to be at, what you can and what you can't do in real game time speed. It's a different environment when you're running through these reps, going through your drills during practice during the week. And when you're game planning, it's a whole totally different ball game once you get in there and actually when the rubber meets the road. Quick pass there to the outside. And the 2nd completed pass there by the Mount Baker Mountaineers, Landon Smith. Able to get it to Landon Hansted. 2nd reception.
2nd down and 1. Now they're going to call that a 1st down.
For Landon Hansted. 2nd completed pass for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. Wildcats have to find something sooner rather than later, even though it's still the 1st quarter. It's just unbelievable right now that you can almost feel the windfall coming. They have to find something. And what's it going to be? Looks like there might have been a false start against the Mount Baker Mountaineers.
Flag on the play.
And indeed it is. Just flinching and costing them 5 yards. So 7th penalty of this contest.
The Mountaineers. putting
5
the
of
ball
them
back
versus
at
the
their own
Wildcats.
32
2 of them versus the Mount Baker Mountaineers.
First down and 15 yards to
Let's
go.
see if these penalties can stop at some point, but right now, it just keeps going. Under center, again, West. George receiving it with the handoff and stopped in the backfield, loss of 2. So right now, the Wildcats seem to have found some sort of penetration, some weakness.
Second down and 17.
And the Wildcats will continue to run on that. So again, let's see which team is able to keep up. 7-0 early on in this contest, first quarter. Smith again hands it off to West. West running through some tackles and finally brought down after a gain of about 7 yards.
Number 44.
David West.
Seth Ordaz, the tackle for the Wildcats.
Running hard there after the handoff.
Third down, 9 yards to go.
So Mount Baker runs what many would probably call an obsolete offense. You can't really find that many teams anymore. Actually, name a team that runs under center these days. Doesn't matter how big or how small the school is. It's just something that hasn't been running in. An attempted pass there by Smith.
Intended for number 24, Dylan Moa.
For Dylan Moa.
Fourth down and 9.
So fourth down and long to go. Let's see what they're going to do here. Looks like they're going to punt it away. Wildcat defense holding on that one. But either way, not a position that they wanted to be in, down 7-0 early on in this contest, first quarter. Fourth down and 9, and the punter, Alex Malloy, taking care of punting duties here tonight. They're going to get the snap. Almost drops it. Is he able to get it up? Oh, no, and block. Are they able to pick it up? And that's going to be it. Oh, my, good special teams there by the Wildcats.
Inside the 30-yard line.
Not much has been going right with the Wildcats special teams, but there is a big play. Getting a great field position versus the Mountaineers.
Down by the Wildcats.
You see they measured that.
Joshua Luna.
And you can kind of tell there the inexperience still between the long snapper and the punter. Waited just a hair bit, and of course the defensive pressure being put on by the special teams, getting to still try to punt it off, as you should. And now the Wildcats get started and are bound to 27 Mountaineer Baker yard line. Perez, quick pass to the outside and short towards the feet of Nick Cortez. Joshua Perez not able to find the rhythm early on that one. Just hasn't been a lot of opportunities here so far in this half, in this first quarter.
2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. Of course, as our main scoreboard is not running here tonight.
10.
Still dealing with new issues of with new technology and new companies. Joshua Perez stepping up, trying to get through it, loses it, puts the ball on the ground, and the Wildcats able to fall right back on it. And mistake after mistake keeps happening here tonight for the Wildcats. Are they able to find the rhythm at some point? Well, this could be it. At the end of the day, we may be talking about a 7-0 win, or perhaps a 10-3 type of score for whoever wins this game.
About 12 yards to go for the first.
This is going to be fought in the trenches here tonight. This is going to be strictly a defensive game. Who can hang on to the ball the longest? There's not going to be a lot of scoring done here tonight, but of course, we have yet to see what else is in store here tonight and what's going to happen here.
Timeout, Wildcats.
Called again by the Wildcats. Second timeout of the first half, so they have one more remaining the rest of the way. And they're just going to try to regroup, get something going. We're going to step aside, take a small timeout, be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. And welcome back here on the THS Digital Media Network. 3rd and long for the Wildcats. Had a call their second timeout of the first half. Perez stepping back, rolling out over to his left, right. There he goes, Nick Cortez. Excuse me, it looks like that is Timmy Torres for a minimal gain of about 1 yard. Or, yeah, it looks like he was met right at the line of scrimmage. So once again, the Toppenish offense stuffed.
4th down.
And 4th down
12 yards to go.
and 12 yards. Looks like the Wildcats are going to keep their offense on the field, seeing as there are still issues with the long snapper. And here we go. Perez, 5-step drop. Has to run out, trying to find somewhere to go, and met by the Mountaineer defense there, and Marquis George.
Marcus George with the sack.
And a sack ends this one, and mistake after mistake, and the inability to move that ball efficiently continues for the Wildcats after scoring 40-plus points last week versus 2A Washougal. The Wildcats last time did find some success on defense. They're going to have to keep that going again and hope that that Wildcat offense gets turned on at some point. They need to find that fire. They need to find their way into the end zone. George receives the handoff and tackled after about a gain of 3 yards. Less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter.
2nd down and 7.
Of course, if you're here in the stadium, or if you were here in the stadium, you'd realize that our new scoreboard, or the new scoreboard for the Toppenish High School Wildcats, malfunctioning right here at the beginning of the game. So, sure, we're getting tech right on it. So we'll see what's going to happen here tonight.
For Mount Baker 7, Wildcats 0. The cheerleaders will be in partnership with leadership. We'll be doing a dash for cash in between first and second quarter, which is now. All proceeds will be donated
so we are
to College Coffee to help support.
We're going to take a timeout. Mountaineers up 7-0 off a rushing touchdown. Take a break. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. And welcome back here at THS Digital Media Network. 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. Second quarter about to begin. George receives the toss. Takes a lane, finding the outside, and finally dragged out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. Looks like they're going to be at the 38 of the Wildcats. And that's what happens when you're running a lot of power, near the middle, through your guards, through your tackles. And then when you decide to toss it and try to get outside of your tackle, if your defense has just been used to attacking the middle and not worrying about contain outside, that's what can happen right there. There is George able to rip off a good gain. Smith hands it off again to the middle for the Baker Mountaineers. Wilhelm Maloli getting a chance at that attempt. 2nd down. Wildcat defense, once again, needs to do a terrific job here in this series the last thing you want to do is be down 14-0 here in the second quarter, first half, especially knowing that your offense has not been able to even get a new first down in their previous offensive series. So looking dicey, as Brendan Schaub would say. Oh, ball almost picked off, I believe, but batted down and incomplete.
Pass incomplete. Third down and 10 for the Mountaineers.
So third down and 10 coming up. There is the only indications we have here. We don't have, or should I say, I don't have the ability of a live clock in front of me. So strictly running off the down markers down on the field. And of course, wherever the ball is. Smith heads it off underneath with the delay. George being met and stopped for minimal gain, about 2 on that one. It's going to bring down third down and 8. And you got to believe that the Mountaineers are going to go for it again. Well, when you're in this part of the field, what else do you have now? I guess you could punt it off and put the Wildcats in even deeper trouble. Have them start off from hopefully within the 10-yard line if you're able to punt it correctly. That does not seem to be the case. Let's see what the Mountaineers have in store for the Wildcats here this round. Under center, Landon Smith. Quarterback here for Mount Baker. Getting under center. What is he going to do? Rolling it over to his right. Looking for somebody, and a flag, and ball is picked up. Yes, it is. Let's see who this penalty flag is against, though. And so it was Scott.
And the flag on the play.
And the flag is going to be against who? So flag against the Wildcats. It's a holding. And so that's going to tack on. Not going to give them a fresh set of downs. I believe that's going to be just a 5-yard penalty. Still going to remain fourth down, I believe. We'll see what the officials have to say about this one. So trying to coordinate exactly what happened, or should I say maybe the pick is good. No, it is not, but. And it looks like they will give him the full 10, so that's going to be another fresh set of downs. 7th penalty for the Wildcats. And much like last week over at Washougal, penalties are the issue.
10, Mountaineers, 26.
I got to say this, from just the way and the rhythm and at the pace this game is being played at, if the Wildcats allow the Mountaineers to score here on this drive, it's going to be very, very difficult treading downhill from here. It's going to be very difficult just by the way the Mountaineer defense is playing.
Joshua Luna.
So second down
Gain of 3.
and about 7 after a 3-yard gain there from the Mountaineers on that rush attempt. Wildcats just trying to find something, anything to go, and coincidentally, I mean, the losses have attributed to the scoreboard being down. Of course, losing versus Royal in the season opener here at Wildcat Stadium. Ball turned around. George Smith keeping it and able to get minimal gain there. Maybe a gain of 1.5 yards. It's going to bring up third down. Wildcats have to stay composed right now. Not a lot going right for them, especially on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, they may be bending just a little bit right now, and they've given up some big plays, but they have to keep it together. They have to trust that they're being told to do the right things down there, keep their assignments, do your job, as Coach Bill Belichick would say. So here we go. Smith trying to throw it. Ball is caught, and the third completed reception, good for a first down to Moa. Dylan Moa. A critical reception there in a fresh set of downs for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. I mean, the Wildcats, they're able to keep certain plays in front of them, but right now, the inexperience sort of catching up. Marcus George again gets it up, trying to make his way through traffic.
Number 9, the ball carrier.
And the Wildcat defense stepping up.
Gain of a couple. Ball's at the
Getting only a
11-yard
couple
line.
yards on that one. But in the red zone,
1 yard
Mountaineers
gain, officially second
threatening
down and 9.
to attack. Threatening getting another touchdown. So last week, when we were down there in the Washougal area, at Washougal High School, watching that game, we did notice that the Wildcats were struggling early on in the first half, and there were more than enough points during the game where if a big play or something wasn't done to change the rhythm of the game, it could have meant a potentially different outcome. Luckily last week, the Wildcats were able to find that rhythm on offense and on defense. But right now, the luck is not on their side, and slow starts here this season looking like to be the trend. And when you have a young team and you have inexperienced players stepping in, that's what you kind of have to expect. Landon Smith tossed to the outside, and George, wide open lane, and gets to the end zone. A touchdown. 13-0 is the score now. Wildcats down by 2 possessions. And what is going to happen here? I mean, the Wildcats already with 7 penalties in this contest. Haven't been able to get the long snapper to find his rhythm on special teams end. Wildcats, although they've made a couple of decent stops, have yet to find that critical one, and kick is blocked, so the score will remain 13-0. And right now, a lot of worrying being done here on the top of this Wildcat sideline and with the fans here tonight. What else are you to do? Inexperience, of course, being shown here early on in this first half. Down by 2 possessions now. The Wildcats have yet to even get a single first down on any of their offensive possessions. Things are just looking very, very concerning at this point in the game. And you got to believe they got to get some sort of score. And more than likely, it's going to have to be a touchdown, as their special teams is still in development. Something that you definitely don't want your team to be in, especially considering special teams, well, it's a huge part of the game. Even if you're not able to get anything going on offense, at the very least, you want to make sure you're able to kick and put that ball away to the other side and not prevent any easy scoring to be done. But right now, the Mount Baker Mountaineers just being gifted some field position and, of course, some mistakes early on, penalty-wise. 7 penalties on the Wildcats alone here in this contest. And it's only the first half. Torres trying to find a way to go in. Finally, out of bounds near the Wildcat 33-yard line or so. Timmy Torres.
And he's at the 32-yard line.
So first down and 10. Trying to check on the time here. Looks like we're about close to about midway through the second quarter. Perez to Torres, running it up the middle.
Timmy Torres.
He's going to gain about 3 yards on that carry.
Out to the 35-yard line.
So as you can see right now, of course, no running back has had a huge gain on any attempt.
Second down, 7.
Just haven't been able to generate anything on offense. And the Wildcats have only attempted a handful of passes here in the first half, compared to last week where the Wildcats, well, they were getting them going. Shane Rivera with only 1 catch. Nick Cortez able to get a quick slant
reception by
from Perez.
23, Nick
It's going to
Cortez.
be his second reception of this contest. Gains about 7 or so on that completion. It's going to bring out 3rd down and short. And this is going to be, believe it or not, the Wildcats' first attempt at gaining a fresh set of downs, which at this point is going to go a long ways in terms of finding some rhythm. Not a lot of success here at the beginning of this first half. Perez and a flag. It's going to be offsides, I believe, against the Baker Mountaineers. It's going to be the 9th penalty of this contest.
Mount Baker. At the first down.
Mount Baker's 3rd penalty of the game compared to the Wildcats' 7.
Halftime. 5 minutes.
Excuse me, 3rd. Yeah, so it's about 10th penalty. I may be incorrect in those stats. Unfortunately, still don't have like a stats iPad or something in front of me. Hopefully one day we'll get that going and have accurate stats for you. Motion. Perez again, another quick slant, and Shane Rivera, the intended receiver, but looks like just a miscommunication there, not on rhythm between Rivera and Joshua Perez. Looks like Rivera may have delayed his break a little bit. That ball was in front of him just a tad bit. So miscommunication there, but 2nd down and 10 here to come. Joshua Perez in the pistol. Torres right behind him. Hands on, finds a rush, gets it. Rivera gets his 2nd reception of the contest, and it's good enough for a 1st down.
Let's see if they give us another Wildcat. 1st down.
So another set of 1st downs here for the Wildcats after the slow start. Down 13-0. Off 2 touchdowns from the Mount Baker Mountaineers. All of them on rushing attempts. Both of them on rushing attempts. Can the Wildcats adjust here? Looks like the offense has finally found some rhythm. Can they continue it? Anthony Ozuna in motion, up to the middle again. And Torres finding some room and hitting the hole. And it's going to be good, close to another Wildcat 1st down. And indeed it is. So the 3rd fresh set of downs here in this series. And it's going to be quite the interesting contest. So 1st down. And a fresh set of downs again. Joshua Perez in the pistol. Quick toss to the outside there, and minimal gain there for about a yard. As Isaiah Maldonado out there, it appears.
Gain of 1 yard on the pass play. 2nd down and 9.
Trying to make a play on the outside and break for a huge one. Well, what else is there? 2nd down and 10 coming up. The Mount Baker Mount Baker defense. Perhaps the fatigue is starting to set in. Remember, this Mount Baker team having 10 two-way starters. On the other side, there we go. Cortez, Torres, breaking room. Trying to run through some tackles, and there we go. Timmy Torres trying to get away from Landon Smith.
16-yard line.
And able to break up another big one, and
They're moving
finally
the chains, Greg, because
the Wildcats
it's another Wildcat.
have found some more rhythm, and the 4th set of new downs. Finally, the Wildcats finding some rhythm. I mean, it's a good thing now that the Wildcats have found this. They're building off this. It looks like they just want to keep going, and when you have rhythm, don't break it. About 6 seconds remaining there on that clock, play clock. There we go, Perez trying to make some decisions, running over to his left side, going up. Oh, Cortez, what's going to be called? No, incomplete. Referee right there, and a dangerous pass there by Perez.
Ball hitting the ground. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left.
So 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, first half. 13 to nothing.
This time I'd like to invite all Grid Kid players go down to the east end of the field and
you
gather.
almost feel like they have to
players.
score on this possession in this offensive series. Otherwise, that second half looking very dangerous. Indeed it is. The only benefit the Wildcats have is that they have fresh starters on both sides. So in motion, Perez carrying it, closing in, trying to find a receiver in his area, flicking it to Isaiah Maldonado's area. Unfortunately, very short and incomplete.
Pass incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
So 3rd down and 10 in this part of the field. What else is going to be tried there as Joshua Perez feeling the pressure and needing to make a quick decision? See, Joshua Perez, I believe in there, I mean, he had a little bit of a chance, but unfortunately, when you don't run up on under center, one of the drawbacks for most quarterbacks, especially at this level, is just not recognizing when you just need to step up in the pocket and get it up. Rivera, jumping, air ball, touchdown. 16-yard receiving touchdown for Shane Rivera. No flags on the field, and it's 6-0 now. And here's the problem, though. Special teams, if you don't think this isn't going to be critical right now, you're duly mistaken. Wildcats still suffering through special team issues. New long snapper this year, still the same kicker and holder. However, just not able to find somebody reliable enough, or at least somebody that has the experience and reps enough to get that goal. But two-point conversion looked like instead being opted by the Wildcats. Perez, another quick pass to the outside. Maldonado breaking through, and two-point conversion is good. Isaiah Maldonado from Joshua Perez. 8-0 now the score. Oh my. Here we go, 8-13 the score. Wildcats still down by a possession. We're going to take a timeout. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network.
113. Brandon Flores going to kick off.
And welcome back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Minute 33 remaining here in the second quarter. Brandon Flores to kick off for the Wildcats, and there he goes. Pooch kick to the middle of the field. Now Baker Mountaineers trying to run through some tackles and finally brought down on the attempted return.
Anthony Ozuna was the tackler on the play. Mount Baker.
The Mountaineers.
Their own 36-yard line.
So what's the good thing and what's the bad thing here with the minute 26 remaining here in the second quarter? Well, the good thing, you might be able to allow the Mount Baker Mountaineers to run a lot of time off that clock, and perhaps you might give up a little bit of field position, but you might have them in a situation here where they just don't have enough time to make something reasonable happen in terms of getting some points on the board. Smith getting it to his running back.
Wilhelm Melole, the ball carrier.
Wilhelm Melole receiving that
39-yard line.
rush attempt. It's going to come down to about second down and about 7. Now Baker Mountaineers with their power offense. Wing T, multiple running backs. Landon Smith hands it off underneath. Smith with the chance and reception there, and unfortunate error there, and to the house. 65-yard touchdown reception from Landon Smith to Landon Hansted. And that was a mistake there by the Wildcat defensive back. Not able to secure the tackle. And right there, two players colliding, neither of them able to make a play on the ball. And look at that, running away free. Mount Baker Mountaineers now with another touchdown. And just when you thought it wasn't possible, it was the Mount Baker Mountaineers starting to pass the ball a lot more aggressively and feeling confident about it here tonight. Well, you don't expect a running team to pass the ball when you know they're primarily a running team. And that kind of takes away from your game plan to a certain degree, because you're usually playing your defensive backs a little tighter, a little closer to the line of scrimmage to sort of help out and prevent any big running plays from occurring. And so now the score 19-8 in favor of the Mountaineers. And Wildcats not really vibing with that, not liking the result of that play. That was, maybe you could call luck, maybe you could call something else. Of course, this game last year when they met in the first round of the playoffs, well, it was a close game all the way. Right now, Wildcats down by potentially 2 possessions here. 3 possessions, actually. And so a chance at a 2-point conversion. And so, and false start, looks like a flag is going to be thrown, and ball is stopped, and that's it. Of course, they're going to decline the flag. So good play there, keeping this at a 2-possession game. Field goal,
that's a head,
of course, more than unlikely. So the Wildcats down by, at the very least, 2 touchdowns at this point.
Mountaineers 19,
Wildcats were able to find a rhythm on offense last series. Now it's looking like they're going to have to try to do it again here with 38 seconds remaining and only 1 timeout. Wildcats being forced to use 2 of their timeouts early on in this first half. And the Wildcats needing to regroup here with 38 seconds remaining in the second quarter. They need to go into the locker room on a positive note. The Wildcats really need something to go here. They need to get some good field position. Maybe their special teams, maybe the kickoff return can get one to the house. But you need to find something positive here to end this series. I mean, that last possession by the Mount Baker Mountaineers, maybe you could claim a little bit of luck. Perhaps maybe not, maybe just some missed tackles. But for a team that doesn't like to pass the ball that often, that's exactly what they're doing here tonight to provide themselves with extra breathing room, especially when it's the most important. In this game, you can feel right now on the rhythm on the side of the Mount Baker Mountaineers. Takes a bounce. Wildcats finding a play, keeping his in bounds, and goes deep. Nick Cortez there with the huge return. That's exactly what we're talking about. A special teams play right there by kickoff return of the Wildcats. Able to find that lane, keeping his footing, and was stayed in bounds. And now you're already in Mount Baker territory. Can the Wildcats capitalize? Looks like they're going to bring the ball back, though, just a few yards. But either way, 33 seconds left. More than enough time here to run a couple of big plays, hopefully, and try to get into that end zone. Motion there by the Wildcats. Perez taking the shot. Cortez lot of room in front of them and going and stepping out of bounds.
Torres.
25 seconds or so
That's
remaining
right,
here
down
in the second
to the
quarter.
20-yard
Wildcats looking to turn one more
24-yard line.
possession into a touchdown here before heading into the locker room for halftime. Mount Baker has
That's
been on
another
top the
Wildcat.
entirety of this game compared to the last time they met up last season in November, first round of the playoffs. Wildcats up by 2 touchdowns. This time the opposite result. Perez taking a big shot, and Rivera takes it. 2 feet in, is it? Touchdown! Luca Dunn, and another touchdown there for the Wildcats. What a great moment with 6 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, and this crowd is coming alive, trying to keep this team in this game, and look at that. Shane Rivera was open, and perhaps Joshua Perez could have sent a little bit of more of a bullet on that one, but nonetheless, just throwing it up there, looking for his big playmaker. This guy, Shane Rivera, primarily a basketball player, but a great athlete nonetheless, just having to go up and get it. And guess what? He goes up and gets it. 2 touchdowns in this contest. My, oh my. And Flores this time going to try the PAT. And trying to hold on. And again, special teams PAT still an issue.
The score.
So no good, 14-19 now. The Wildcats down by only 1 possession, but you bet they needed that one. And this is what's going to come down to. Whoever's going to win this game is going to come down to who can make the best special teams play. Because by the way these 2 teams are playing here tonight, for Mount Baker, their defense. For the Toppenish Wildcats, their slow starting offense is starting to fire up. Let's see who is able to hold on to the ball the longest. We guarantee you that's going to be much like last year, the key to this game. Can you hold on to that ball long enough? The Wildcats down by only 1 touchdown now. Missed on that conversion on that last series, but here we go as the Wildcats more than likely going to try to just squib it, run the rest of the first half out, end of the second quarter, 6 seconds remaining. We'll see what they have in store here. Brandon Flores. Well, if you saw that last PAT conversion and attempt, just not a lot there. The snap took forever to get there. By the time the holder got the snap, I mean, you just saw every Mountaineer right in front of you. And the holder just had to make something out of nothing. And unfortunately, nothing came of it. So here we go. Time winding down, and the Wildcats will bring it down. 2 seconds remaining. You got to believe that Landon Smith and the Mountaineers are just going to simply kneel this one and just head into the locker room and see what they need to do here in the next half. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is try to make a big play. Maybe you can run it, but you got maybe a chance at 1 running play. If you want to pass it, well, if you're not primarily a passing team and your quarterback isn't necessarily the prime thrower you would want him to be, could be a little dangerous. And we know this Toppenish defensive back group, they have speed and they have ball skills. Landon Smith is going to get under center, and let's see what they do. Oh, they're going to attempt something. Marquette George. And almost finding something, but that will end the first half on that rushing attempt. And into the locker room we go. This is going to be a competitive one. It's going to be a defensive game. It's going to be on to who can hold on to the ball the longest. It's not necessarily going to be on who can get the most touchdowns. It's going to be a game of field position and time possession. Halftime is upon us, folks. 19-14. The Mount Baker Mountaineers up by 5. Wildcats hoping to make a statement. They're going to receive here in the second half. Take a timeout. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and never miss out on another THS Digital Media event. And of course, if you have a chance, follow all our social media pages at THS Digital Media, Twitter, Facebook. Find them, like the page, follow the page. We'll have programming, sports, contests, streaming, info all this season. And we hope that you keep tuning in. Be back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, at this time, help me introduce your top-of-the grid kids. There are 3 grid kid squads. We have a C squad, B squad, and A squad. We're going to introduce all of them at this short period. Starting with the C squad, with a record of 1 win and no losses, and playing tomorrow versus Grandview. This game will take place at the Topless Middle School, AC Moore Field at 10 a.m. They are coached by Mr. Steve Romero, and real fast with the C Squad roster. Nathan Magana, Jace Royce, Jaden Diaz, Rafael Gonzalez, Adrian Gona, Alvarado Ramirez, Jacob Ochoa, Dominic Torres, Isaiah Gaiona, Josiah Herrera, Samuel Romero, Aiden Rodriguez, Derek Thompson, Hunter Cuevas, Jason Riojas, Dominic Underwood, David Luna, Leroy Morrison, Roman Clark, Ivan Leos, Vic Pineda, Gabriel Pedroza, Damian Guerrero, Francisco Delgado, J.C. Walker, Rocky Lloyd, Andrew Vasquez, Isaiah Sanchez, Assistant Coach Rocco Clark, Robert Pedroza. Next, please help me introduce your top-notch Grid Kids B Squad team with a record of 1 win and no losses. Also playing tomorrow versus Grandview. This game will take place at the middle school, AC Mar Field, at 12 noon. They are coached by Eric Johnson, and they are Mason Zapian, Mo Torres, Tejan Fernandez, Isaiah Sanchez, Anthony Saldivar, Anthony Guzman, CJ Biss, Ron Cruz, Lorenzo Namkin, Anthony Chavez, Blake Lloyd, Elijah Perez, Isaiah Rodriguez, Josiah Salinas, Damian Altamirano, Xander Rodriguez, Adrian Ramirez, Florencio Rodarte, Eagle Clark, Aiden Dominguez, Gabriel Valencia, Rosendo Godina, Gage Vesway, and assisted by Pedro Valencia. And finally, please help me introduce your top-notch Grid Kids A Squad team with a record of 0-1 playing tomorrow versus Sela. The game will take place at Top-notch Middle School, AC Moore Field at 2 p.m. Hope to see you there. This squad coached by Mr. Robert Pedroza, and they are Lupillo Cisneros, Moses Malgoza, Joaquin Quezada, Auden Clark, Isaiah Rios, Israel Diaz, Nathan Magana, Isaac Corpez, Jaden Gattaca, J.K. Akala, Curtis Cree, David Lopez, Manny Valencia, Jarvis Peters, Lucas Wapshilai, Anthony Cifuentes, and Riley Corpez. Additional staff members, Artemio Akala, Lyle Wapshilai. How about another great big round of applause for all the top-notch Grid Kids.
And welcome back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Start of the second half, third quarter. Here as it is Toppenish Wildcats' opportunity to return the ball this time. Down by a possession, down by 5 to be exact. What's the key components right now? Well, the Wildcats special teams, both punting and kicking, very much still in development stages, and who knows what the Wildcats game plan when situations like that come up. Trying to break a big run, pass halfway through field and already into Mount Baker territory, and what a great kickoff return there by the Wildcats and Timmy Torres.
Nice run.
Let's take a look at some preliminary statistics. These aren't official. Joshua Perez, 10 of 14 for a little over 100 receiving yards and, of course, 2 touchdowns. Shane Rivera with 4 receptions, 50 yards, and, of course, the 2 touchdowns that he has from Perez. And then pretty much after that, not very much happening for the Wildcats as Timmy Torres, the leading rusher right now, 4 carries and only 17 yards, so very much struggling on the offensive side. And there we go. Timmy Torres having to reach up and get that one for minimal gain, no gain, in fact. Second down and about 10 yards to go.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10.
What are those adjustments that the Wildcats are going to have to make? Are they going to be able to make them here in the second half? You're only down by 1 touchdown. And let's see what else is about to happen here. Joshua Perez hands it off inside of Ozuna. Met at the line of scrimmage and nothing happening there on that possession.
No gain. Stopped by number 74, Jesse Harward.
So the Mount Baker defense stepping up. Third down and 10. Are the Wildcats going to go 3 and out on this one? It's like Joshua Perez threw that ball a little bit awkwardly with a little bit too much air under it. Luckily that Torres was able to catch that one. Let's see how Perez feels the rest of the way. Perez, Maldonado trying to break one and being met after a gain of about 4 yards. 11th completion of the contest for the Wildcats, and it's going to bring up 4th down. So it's going to bring a 3 and out. Wildcats are going to try to punt this one away. Of course, the Wildcats are going to be able to execute their special teams here.
6 yards to go.
It's been their primary issue at the beginning of the season. Able to get that one away just in time. And West. And good punt there from Perez as the Mount Baker Mountaineers are going to start from their own 4-yard line.
First down and 10.
And right now, an injured player down on the field for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. Interesting note, Mount Baker, small team. They have 10 two-way starters. So when we talk about fatigue, when we talk about conditioning, Mount Baker Mountaineers more than likely are the ones at a disadvantage. But of course, Mount Baker with a great program. And let's see how well conditioned they are the rest of the way here. You can argue that that's where Toppenish has an advantage right now. They got fresh bodies, only about 2 or 3 two-way starters. And even if they are starting, they often switch out with other players in their position group. So when you think about it, the Wildcats pretty much have fresh bodies on either side of the ball each and every time. Let's see if that's going to be a big component moving forward. So the Mountaineers getting started deep in their own territory. Under center, Landon Smith going to tip back. Pass incomplete. Intended there for number 83, Tanyan Stanton. 9:36 remaining, 14-19. If you think about it, this is probably some of the best field position that the Wildcat defense can be in. You have Mount Baker deep on their own sideline, and they know that there's going to be a limited selected amount of plays that they can run in this area of the field. When you're not primarily a passing team, that kind of changes things a little bit. Hand it off inside and being met by Wildcats and barely able to get to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 9 to go.
Ball carrier number 20.
And this is what's great. The Wildcats need to keep discipline. They need to do their job. They need to stop this Mount Baker offense right now and get themselves some great field position and try to take the lead with another touchdown. Wildcats are still developing their special teams, so they're not going to be kicking field goals anytime soon unless they absolutely need to. But here we go, Landon Smith, under center. Trying to hide it, long pass. Trying to sell it and just too strong there. Landon Smith.
Intended for number 21.
Intended there.
4th down.
For Hayden Ross and 4th down, and the Mount Baker Mountaineers are going to have to punt this one away. Well, you got no other shot. If you don't convert, I mean, you're pretty much giving the Wildcats great field position in the red zone, and you just cannot afford that, seeing as this game is only a 1-possession game right now. So the Mountaineers looking to get their personnel in. Looks like they're still one short. Are they going to have enough time, though? 3 seconds remaining on the play clock. Able to get the snap off. Oh, able to barely get that punt off. And oh no, look at that. Not a very good punt. Perhaps on that pressure, and the Wildcats get gifted a red zone possession. This is going to be big. This may change the tempo of this contest. Oh, what's going to happen? You can see that pressure, the special teams that they've been working on. They may not be able to execute it well themselves on the offensive end, but when it comes to defense, trying to provide a disturbance, trying to get something going, somebody make a play. Seems like that special teams on the defensive side is well built. And here we go, Joshua Perez. In pistol, hands it off inside. And Timmy Torres moving forward for a gain of about 3 yards or so. It's going to bring down 2nd down.
He is down to the 6. That's a 3-yard gain.
Wildcats don't even get a chance at new fresh set downs now. And if you haven't noticed, we're not sure if you're able to see this from home. Joshua Perez does have his throwing hand taped up during the first half, landing awkwardly on his throwing hand and had to be taped up during halftime. Let's see if that's going to have an effect on his rhythm, on his composure, and on his ability to make plays, especially throwing the ball through the air. But here we go, red zone opportunity. Not having to throw too many long balls from this position. Can the Wildcats capitalize and take the lead for the first time here tonight? Perez looking for the corner. And again, Shane Rivera. Oh, not able to get the completion. It looks like he was a hair off of even getting 1 foot in. Remember, it's 1 foot in high school and in college. Only in the NFL does it require 2 feet for the reception, for the catch to count.
3rd down.
3rd down and goal. Here we go.
On the 6-yard line.
Nick Cortez going to come in. A great receiving back. And we want to see Wildcats. Keanu Zuniga, the main running back right now. Perez getting it. And 3. Oh! Oh, and the ball just a little outside of Shane Rivera. And the Wildcats, there's no way they're not going to go for it here on 4th down this deep into Mount Baker territory. What do you run here? Rushing has just not been the strong suit here tonight for the Wildcats. Timmy Torres, 5 carries, less than 30 yards here so far.
4th down, 6 yards.
Less than 40 yards now. So Joshua Perez, 5 seconds remaining on the play clock. Gets the snap, trying to find somewhere to go. Can't find anything, he's gonna run it himself. He's gonna get through that touchdown. First touchdown, Joshua Perez.
resulting in a touchdown.
And the Wildcats are going to take the lead in this one, but there you go. Joshua Perez not finding anybody open, but found a rushing lane and gets it in and puts this team up by a possession. Last week at Washougal, that's another component that the Wildcats relied on offense is Joshua Perez's running ability. Of course, last week, rushing for over 100 yards on top of his 250 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Unbelievable stat line for that kid early on in the season. Let's see if he can keep going. 2-point conversion attempt. Perez trying to find Isaiah Maldonado and unable to find any room there. Failed, and the Wildcats now leading by 1 at 20-19.
And the score now, the Wildcats
20-19, Wildcats taking the first lead of this contest. It's going to be a close game all the way through. Take a small break, be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and never miss out on another THS Digital Media event. And welcome back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Brandon Flores and the Toppenish Wildcats getting ready to kick this one off again after a Joshua Perez rushing touchdown. Not finding anything through the air on that last play on offense. Instead, tucking it in and running it for his first rushing touchdown of this contest. And Brandon Flores kicking that one off. Going to get a little good bounce, and unfortunately that's going to go out of bounds near the 15-yard line. So looks like the Mount Baker Mountaineers are going to get started near their own 20-yard line. Again, one of the things that might be affecting Joshua Perez right now, especially important playing as quarterback, is that injury to his left hand taped up during halftime. Reports indicating that he landed awkwardly on his throwing hand some play during the first half, and looks like he's going to cut this one out. He's in discomfort, but when you want to play at a championship level and you want to make your team better, you bet you're going to do whatever it takes to stay in this game. And looks like a stoppage of play here. A flag going to be thrown. Let's see who it's going to be against. 9 penalties already assessed, the majority of them to the Wildcats, and it's going to be too many men on the field for the Wildcats. Oh my. That's going to be their 8th penalty of the contest. Nearing double digits in penalties yet again.
First down and 5.
First down and 5. Landon Smith going to get under center at the 40-yard line. Up the middle, and George able to gain about 5, and he's going to pick up a fresh set of downs. He's going to bring up first down and 10 now from the Mount Baker 45-yard line. Landon Smith.
Second down and 1.
Getting ready to get back under center. See what they attempt to run here. Landon Smith, an attempted pass, and he gets it completed to his receiver. There is the defensive back for Toppenish, Keanu Zuniga. Not keeping track of where Tanyan Staton was at.
First and 10 Mountaineers.
In his second reception of this contest, and it's a big one. Wildcats just giving that one up. Zuniga not aware of where he was and where his assignment was, and just coming open and a good accurate pass there from Landon Smith coming from under center. Let's see how they continue on. Smith, George, and finally brought down on that rushing attempt, gained for about another 5.
For Wilhelm Maloli.
Wilhelm Maloli, number 20.
Second down and 5
for the Mountaineers. Getting a good carry there. Feels like Maloli and George are receiving the majority of the carries when they are rushing the ball. And of course, Landon Smith, with the few opportunities he's having towards passing, making it happen. Landon Smith again to George, man in the backfield. Oh no! West fumbles it! And what's going to be happening? Oh no, wait a minute.
Incomplete.
Incomplete pass instead. That looked like that may have been a fumble, but looks like the referee marked that attempted completion and pass near the line of scrimmage, so just by a hair. Yeah, had that been literally 2 inches behind that line, that would have been a fumble, and the Wildcats had clear recovery of it. We may have been talking different. So under center, Landon Smith to George, to the outside. Wildcats trying to get contained, and a flag going to be called and thrown here. Let's see who it's going to be on. It might be against the Mountaineers. It appears it's going to be a holding call against Mount Baker. So great timing, and the Wildcats catching a break there penalty-wise, because it looked like Mount Baker Mountaineers were about to make a huge offensive play. And then, of course, if you are out here in the stands, perhaps listening this on the side, looks like you're still dealing with some scoreboard issues. You love technology when it works, and you hate technology when it doesn't. Of course, me working in that industry, information technology, and all things technology, can sympathize with that. So Landon Smith, third and about long. He's going to attempt at a pass. Couldn't find anybody there. Landon Smith gonna have a lane. Runs through it. Is he gonna get a first down? No, he's close to it, and he does. New set of downs would appear to be a stop to play. Results in another set of downs for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. And the Wildcats just not able to close out, and they had a Wildcat defender right there in the backfield to meet Landon Smith, just not able to make a play. We're talking about that young defensive line that the Wildcats have. Remember, losing a couple of seniors that now play at the collegiate level. And the Wildcats still learning, especially up front. Landon Smith,
first down and 10,
under center.
20.
He's going to hand it off to West. Finds a lane, cutting to the outside. He's going to try to keep his feet going, and finally brought down after a gain of 8.
Brady West.
The way this game keeps going, who's going to hold on to the ball the longest? And much like last year,
gain of about 8 yards.
When they were playing in the first round of state, it might come down to who has the ball last. Wildcats only up by a point, 20-19 currently. Landon Smith again, and another penalty flag there. False start against the Mount Baker Mountaineers. 11th total penalty of this contest.
Mount Baker.
And looks like the Mount Baker Mountaineers now with 4 penalties on the game. Of course, Wildcats with 8, more than double. 12 penalty overall, excuse me. Still trying to take care of that math. Math, not necessarily my strong background here. So second down and about 8 to go after that penalty false start. So tight, strong formation there. George running through, finds a hole, and immediately gains those 9 yards back, and another fresh set of downs coming for the Mount Baker Mountaineers. Wildcats, looks like they're a little tired on defense right now.
First down, goal to go from.
Wildcats are going to have to come up with another stop, you got to believe. I mean, they can't afford. They're only up by 1 point, so they would not be terribly behind if the Mount Baker Mountaineers are able to get the ball into the end zone. And a timeout going to be called on the Wildcats sideline. Did not like the look that they had in front of them, and they're going to reassess here on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to take a short break. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Never miss out on another THS Digital Media event. We'll be back.
First and 10.
And welcome back here, THS Digital Media Network, after the timeout on defense for the Wildcats. First down and goal for the Mountaineers. George with the handoff and gets to the end zone. Touchdown.
Mount Baker.
Second touchdown of the evening for Mount Baker, and now they are up by a possession. See, the Wildcats just being pushed around up front. The defensive line is still learning. You got to learn how to get underneath those blocks from Mount Baker, especially when you're playing in the D-line, defensive end, especially the D-tackle position. You don't want to get pushed back, and you're lucky, I guess, if you're able to move forward a little bit. But most important job is don't get blown back. And toss to the outside, and George gonna have a clear path, and what's it called? And no, good on the two-point attempt. That could be a key contributor as we wind down towards the end of this game. Wildcats only down by 5 again.
And the score now.
And the Wildcats, even if they convert on a two-pointer, should they get into the end zone again, they're only going to be up by 3. And so far, Mount Baker has not gone for a field goal attempt. It'll be interesting to see how this game develops and whether Mount Baker is going to be put in a position to bring out their kicker and perhaps get a chance to either tie or, if not, win this game, should the results hold the way they are right now. 25-20, the Mount Baker Mountaineers over the Toppenish Wildcats with 4:26 remaining here in this third quarter. Most of the problems for both teams coming on the special teams side. Both of them primarily on the offensive side when they're trying to punt or kick the ball away. So perhaps two of the weaknesses here for both teams. Wildcats with the new long snapper this year. And as seen so far here in the first half, still have yet to find any type of success in rhythm. And it's a learning process. Sam Maldonado getting the return, trying to find a lane, sneaking through, bounces it to the outside, getting another great return, and finally knocked out of bounds, looking like at around the 50-yard line. What the heck happened here? The referees.
Isaiah Maldonado.
So Isaiah Maldonado nonetheless had a great return. And it appeared that they stopped play there. The referees seemed to just stop. So now the official's gonna get an explanation. What happened here? Were they out of bounds? Was he brought down? Did he have a knee down? And they're gonna bring this ball back all the way out to the 40. Back down, back into Wildcat territory in the 40-yard line. 4th down and 10. Here we go on this Friday evening. Here live from Toppenish, Washington, inside Wildcat Stadium on Bob Winters Field. And timeout being taken, I believe, by Mount Baker. Give them a chance to reassess. The key for the Wildcats now, if they want to keep this interesting, is they need to keep scoring on offense. The defense, well, they're going to have to find a stop if they're looking to win this game. They've made a couple of them, but definitely have had a little bit more plays, especially the explosive ones, happen on the defensive side. Oh, and what are they talking about? Oh, it looks like the official said they need a re-kick. They're going to re-kick. So interesting enough. So we thought we were about to get ready to go on another offensive possession, and it's going to be a re-kick after all of that. I think the officials made a mistake on calling Isaiah Maldonado down or something, but either way, or a penalty, we don't seem to have that. Onside kick. Ball still on the ground. Who's going to recover it? It could be Toppenish. And it appears just barely the Hands team, and that's one thing we were expecting. You should have been expecting from the Mount Baker. Santana Luna there with the big recovery and puts the Wildcats in better field position than before. Yeah, even after all of those explanations and everything, I mean, I did not see a flag or anything. I really don't know why they would have re-kicked. I can only assume there was a penalty on someone. Joshua Perez handed off inside. And it appears running back gaining for about 4.
Diano Zuniga with the carry just over midfield at the...
So it's going to bring down 2nd down and 6. 3:47 remaining here in this 3rd quarter. Down by a possession, down by a touchdown. Wildcats are going to keep trying to pound away. That's it. Cortez gets the reception and able to pick up a fresh set of downs. 11 approximately, and another completion there for Joshua Perez, who's been pretty accurate so far, even with an injury to his throwing hand. He's more than likely playing in a lot of discomfort, but not too much pain at this point. He's going to have to stay healthy. The offensive line's going to have to protect Joshua Perez a little bit better here in the coming minutes. Motion. Perez hands it off inside. And Anthony Ozuna. Keanu Zuniga.
One more time down to the
Keanu Zuniga there on the carry. Is about his 3rd carry of this contest. Of course, the Wildcats making some adjustments at halftime. Trying to have better communication as they're now using signs down their sideline to try to communicate with the players where they need to be and what they're running. Joshua Perez sends a man in motion to the other side. Nick Cortez trying to make a man miss, does, keeps going, has a chance, stays on his feet, and all the way out near the 25-yard line. Nick Cortez, right when you need a consistent play to keep happening, there you have Nick Cortez. And that's what his specialty is. He's really more of a receiver who's kind of playing a running back. And, I mean, good thing you have him out there. Has yet to have a touchdown through the air here in this contest, but the way he keeps playing and the amount of receptions and looks he keeps getting towards his way, there's no way this kid isn't going to break off a big one and take it to the house. Joshua Perez gets the snap, finding a slant. And there we go, Shane Rivera with another big one. And another first down for Shane Rivera. Shane Rivera now with 60 receiving yards or so off 5 receptions. So first down.
10 yards. And another Wildcat.
Wildcats gonna try to reattempt and take the lead. It's gonna come down to this. 5 seconds remaining on the play clock. Snap to the running back. Pushes forward ahead for a gain of about 3 yards. Timmy Torres.
Right at the 10-yard line.
Gain of about 3. Less than 40 yards or so rushing for Timmy Torres off of 10 or less carries. Not necessarily a successful night rushing here tonight for running backs. In motion, Joshua Perez sends it and met by a host of Mountaineers. Could not get that screen to go.
Pass complete for a 5-yard
Adrian Villanueva with the reception, but nowhere to go, and a loss of about 5 yards. That's one of those dangerous things when you only are able to successfully pass the ball from pretty much from behind the line of scrimmage. That's what you risk, especially when the plays aren't blocked properly or when straight up sometimes the defense just makes a great play. So third down. And about 13 to go. Gets it off Cortez with the reception. And touchdown, no flags on the field. And the Wildcats once again take the lead by 1. We told you. Nick Cortez is able to make great things happen when he gets the ball in his hands, primarily a receiving back, and there you go. This time playing on the outside, waited patiently for that football, found some open space, and Joshua Perez looking like that hand is not affecting him very much as of this moment. And Cortez able to find some room, make a play, and get to the end zone. Much needed here for the Wildcats.
And the Wildcats
so
again,
a 2-point attempt coming, and remember, special teams kicking game not doing it here tonight, much like last week over at Washougal. Perez try to keep it, ball and intended incomplete. And player slow to get up. Looks like it's going to be Cortez.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to, if you bought a 50-50 raffle, get out your numbers. We are going to make somebody
so they're trying to
smile tonight.
Able to get off the field, but nonetheless, 1-point lead once again for the Wildcats.
And the girls tell me it's $155. Just enough money to fill up your gas tank.
So right now, the Wildcats preparing to kick off once again. Here as the scoreboard once again going on and off and on,
we
off
have
and on.
Winner, ticket number
28 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
7-6.
1-point lead for the Wildcats. They're going to have to pull a tough one out.
If that is your ticket,
their defense is going to have to come up with the big play. So far, defense has not been able to find it yet, but they're going to have to soon. Well, the way the Mount Baker Mountaineers are running the ball, that's all they really have to do. The defensive line for the Toppenish Wildcats are still trying to find their identity and the rhythm here early on, week 3 in this season. And versus a tough team like Mount Baker, it could be another difference maker in this contest. Not a single penalty yet for the Wildcats in the second half, so a good thing going, and the ball will once again be kicked infield but bounce out of bounds. And it's going to be a suitable defensive starting position for the Wildcats as Mount Baker within their own territory. Got to take the good with the bad, even though there was a 5-yard penalty on that one. There's nothing much you can do with the way that ball bounces. Brandon Moreno just trying to get it out of there. So 28 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Wildcat defense, can they make a stop? Gotta believe that's what might turn this game. In the middle, Smith, and ball in and out of the hands of Dylan Moa.
Congratulations, Robert, and thank you for supporting.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for Mount Baker. That's one of those things. Receiver was open, but Landon Smith a little inaccurate on that pass. And Moa had a chance at it, just couldn't reel that pass in. 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
2nd down and 10.
Well, if you're a defensive back for the Wildcats, that's what you got to be worried about, is a pass. And West receiving the handoff, stuck in the backfield, trying to find some room, and met near the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring out 3rd down and 10. And this is where the Toppenish defense has to make a play if they want to get rhythm back on their side. Only up by 1, and it may be a lot more difficult if they're able to get great field position and perhaps get a touchdown and make it that much more difficult for Mount Baker to come back. But we are at quarter. End of the third. Wildcats up by 1, 26-25 over Mount Baker. Take a small break. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and never miss out on another THS Digital Media event. We'll be back after this. And welcome back here, THS Digital Media Network, start of the 4th and final quarter. Landon Smith under center. They're down and sucked in the backfield. What a great play there. And finally, the defensive line of the Wildcats making a big play. What a great tackle there by Joshua Luna. And that's exactly what the Wildcats needed. 5-yard loss on that one. You could try it again. Let's see what Mount Baker is going to do. Are they going to punt this one away? Looks like they are. Be worried about the fake punt. Something's going to have to happen here. So Isaiah Maldonado back deep to return. Oh, snap! Mishandled! Mahoy trying to hang on at the 1-yard line. Oh my! That's exactly what the Wildcats needed, and that's what we were talking about. The special teams on both sides. Oh, that's a mistake there. The long snapper just not able to get it there. The punter Mahoy trying to get on his horse, trying to get all the way to the ball and trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, right at the 1-yard line. And what another gift there for the Wildcats. They're going to have to punch this ball in. And you bet. And this could be a rhythm changer once again. If Mount Baker is able to stop the Wildcats from scoring from deep down here at the 1-yard line after that gift, we may be in for a lot more of an exciting finish. Perez in the pistol. Hand it off inside and can't find very much room through the tackles.
No game.
Timmy Torres, just nothing to find. under 50 yards rushing here in this contest. It's going to bring up 2nd down and goal. This is 4th down territory no matter what. Wildcats with the limitations of their special teams and their kicking game here once again this week. So they're going to go all the way with their attempts at the goal line, and Perez with the quarterback sneak, and Joshua Perez with his 2nd rushing touchdown on the quarterback keeper. And that's how you make that one pay off. Joshua Perez seeing where the lineups was, seeing where the gaps could be, snaps the ball, gets it in his hands, see that lane clear out, and he just takes it himself for a 1-yard rushing touchdown. This is going to be pretty important right here. If the Wildcats are able to convert on this 2-point conversion, it's going to give them some nice breathing room. And there he goes, and 2-point conversion, Joshua Perez. And that's what they were waiting for. Alex Zapien on the reception and completion for the 2-point conversion. And the Wildcats up by a possession. And that's critical. Should the Mountaineers getting another possession and get another touchdown, that's going to put them at 31. And had they not successfully converted that 2-point conversion, the Wildcats, Mount Baker would have been in great position to either tie it up or take the lead one way or another, but they're going to have to continue playing the way they're playing, both on offense and on defense. But also, what was the key contributor on that last series is just that special teams mistake from Mount Baker and just not able to get the punt off, and more importantly, the snap off. And now, Mount Baker being down by more than a possession. And this could be it. 10:28 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Just like last year's 1st-round playoff matchup. Of course, that contest being played on the other side, up top at the stadium in Bellingham. Oh, man, you won't believe here at THS Digital Media. And, of course, myself, just traveling a whole bunch these last 12 months. Seeing the entire state. And, of course, getting a chance to broadcast for all of you watching at home. And trying to break through, and close, and the ball is fumbled, and it is another turnover, special teams mistake by Mount Baker. And that's unbelievable, and right when you needed something to go right, your special teams coughs up the ball, and it's going to give another offensive look for the Wildcats, give them another chance to put a lot more separation points-wise. And the Wildcats right now going to need to capitalize. They need to capitalize on this one, or at the very least, run that clock down as much as they can with this possession that they have. I think that's all they're going to be able to do. Once again, much like Mount Baker, their kicking game, their special teams on the offensive side, trying to boot the ball out of there. Not very successful once again here tonight. So Perez from the pistol. That's it off its side. Timmy Torres finding some room and finally getting some good yardage on that attempt. Going to get about 9. And the Wildcats starting to feel it and starting to find their rhythm. They're already up a possession plus. But the Wildcats need to manage that clock a little bit. See, this is where you need to come in and you need to take a look at that play clock. Get to around 5 seconds because these seconds count, especially when you have an explosive running team that sometimes does not take that much time to get going. And ball. And making a move. And there he goes. Going to get there. Isaiah Maldonado trying to hang on and finally brought down inside the 5-yard line. And rhythm only continues here. Joshua Perez with another completion, and unbelievable.
Inside the 10-yard line.
See, that's exactly why you have Isaiah Maldonado right there. He made a big play, able to move away, get some move off on one of the Mount Baker defenders, find some extra room, and what do you know, another scoring opportunity here for the Wildcats. Another touchdown. it may spell trouble. It may be perhaps the end of this game to a certain degree if they're able to get another touchdown here. Toss to the outside. Torres bounces it out, trying to find the corner and gets about a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Either way, once again at the 1 yard line. Timmy Torres still rushing for less than 50 yards. Leading carrier, ball carrier here today on the ground. Still no touchdown. And Timmy Torres has started off relatively slow down on the ground. Last week versus Washougal, less than 50 yards again.
Just outside the 1 yard line.
Remember the last time these two teams played last year during playoffs, Timmy Torres was held to less than 50, to around 50 yards off of 15, 16 attempts. And there he goes inside, and finally, yes! Finding a move, and Timmy Torres earning his first touchdown of the contest, and that's going to put the Wildcats up by 2 possessions.
Number 24.
And great blocking by the Wildcats line up front, and perhaps Mount Baker just starting to feel the fatigue. Remember, 10 two-way starters on their squad, a very small team, and perhaps the reason for all of these miscues and miscommunications on their side, and perhaps this game just starting to get away from them here tonight. 3-back set, and then off and fumbled. And Perez able to get back on it, but 2-point conversion is going to fail. But nonetheless, more point separation between Mount Baker and the Wildcats. 40-25 now. The Wildcats still with their great offense rolling, finding some explosiveness, finding some plays. We're going to take a timeout. Be back here on the THS Digital Media Network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and never miss out on another THS Digital Media event. And welcome back here, THS Digital Media Network. Brandon Flores getting ready to kick off for the Wildcats. Bit of a quick whip to the middle. West looking to return. Not able to find much room there. So first down for Mount Baker at around their own 36-yard line. And that was just huge.
Mountaineers will start at
That
their own
was
34-yard line.
good play after good play for the Wildcat
34.
offense. Defense also came up big. But the Wildcats looking like they might have this one in control. We're going to find out here soon enough with only 8:53 remaining here in this 4th and final quarter. Landon Smith looked to throw a ball, batted away and incomplete. Referees took a second or two to recognize the incompletion. But either way, 2nd down and 10 coming up for Mount Baker. Well, if you're just tuning in, we know we might have a lot of viewers from across the state and across the world. We know here at THS Digital Media Network. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Antonio Tony D. Dominguez, and believe it, tonight is my 10th year as a full-time broadcaster. Worked with many teams in the past. Landon Smith gets the pass off to West. Trying to find a lane, cuts it up, and gain of about 3 or so yards. Going to bring up for 3rd down, excuse me.
Number 44, Brady West.
So for many in the community and around the Yakima Valley referring to me as Tony D. Antonio Tony D. Dominguez. Covered teams in the past, such as Toppenish, Wapato Wolves, the Ellensburg Bulldogs, Yakima Nation Tribal, whole host of teams. And of course, the Kittitas Coyotes in basketball being a part of that great run by Brock Rivet a few years ago. And West again, fumble on the ground, I believe. What's going to happen? And looks like Mount Baker able to get right back on it. Dangerous plays, though, happening here for Mount Baker.
Fourth down.
In the fourth quarter.
3-yard loss on that play. Fourth down.
Less than 8 minutes remaining now. So again, working on multiple sports here in my 10th year. Started off over at Pacific Northwest Sports Network with Bob Clark, my mentor, 10 years ago. This same day, exactly 10 years ago, called my first game in the rivalry game between Wapato and Toppenish. And ball missnapped again. It cannot happen. The Wildcats recover. And that's just fatigue. The long snapper just was not able to. I mean, that one came in low, and Mahoney just. What else can you do when you're the punter and the ball is literally 7 yards behind you? What else can you do? And Wildcats get one more touchdown, one more score here. You can probably call this game it. That'll be it more than likely. Just not enough time for Mount Baker to mount any sort of comeback, especially considering the type of offense they run, primarily a running team, although they have gotten huge passing place to go here in this contest. But again, passing, not their primary strengths. Perez dropping back, flips it to his running back, and able to get 10 yards on that reception, Timmy Torres, and a flag at the end of it. Let's see who that's against. And there was some extracurricular activity. Personal foul against Mount Baker. It's going to be about half the distance to the goal. So it's going to probably put this ball at around the 1.5 yard line. Mount Baker just, you got to believe they're fatigued and tired. When you have 10 two-way starters out in the field, and you competed well for a first half, but the second half, clearly, just a different story. And when you have a talented roster like Toppenish has on both sides of the ball, you essentially have fresh bodies coming in every play, regardless if you're on defense or on offense. They do have a couple of two-way starters, but other than that, they just have the personnel and the depth to be able to make adjustments, get fresh bodies in there. Perez looking to score, runs it up. Can he get into the end zone? Referees trying to mark it. They did not see that ball cross the line, the goal line anyways. And so they're going to be about inches away from being able to score. Hey, call me an old school guy here. If more teams ran under center in the goal, in this part of the field, there would probably be a little bit more conversions. But, of course, just under center, it's so old school now, they say. Old school. Probably a couple years from now, you'll be asking kids, hey, do you know how to run under center?
Second down.
Probably not. Joshua Perez gets it in, and under center, look at that, rare, and touchdown.
And another touchdown.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, will more than likely seal the deal for the Wildcats. With only 6:40 remaining here in the fourth quarter, Perez, even with an injury to his throwing hand, has not let that affect his game here tonight. And it hasn't. He's had success through the air and obviously through the ground with a couple of rushing touchdowns that he has had here tonight. But Joshua Perez, being the leader that he is and being the player that the team, coaches, and everybody around them look towards to, just playing great here tonight despite the injuries, despite the discomfort, just making plays out there on the field. Joshua Perez with a two-point conversion attempt. And flag called on the play. Landon Smith covering Shane Rivera. And that's the type of benefit you get when you're playing with a 6'5" receiver. And when he is able to go up and get there, remember, Shane Rivera, he's a basketball player at heart. He loves playing football, but he loves basketball even more. And right there, Joshua Perez just trying to give his big receiver a chance to bring it down and make a play. So a retry on the two-point conversion. See what the attempt is. Shane Rivera playing out of the slot. Motion. Zuniga. Now Perez again, and Rivera gets the catch. And two-point conversion is good. Shane Rivera with a conversion there for two. And this team pretty much showing here tonight that offensively they're able to get their slow start. But either way, Wildcats well on the road to getting another W here tonight and starting off the season 2-1. Less than 6:40, about 6:40 remaining here in the fourth and final quarter. Wildcats up by 3 possessions at this point. Just like that, Wildcats able to flip the script here in the second half and well on their way towards getting a W here tonight. I'd like to give a shout out to all the broadcasters out there. Thank you to Christensen and Michael over from Royal covering for me week 1. Wildcats facing off against the Royal Knights a couple of weeks ago. It was unavailable. Of course, if any of you there from the Ellensburg-Kittitas region, of course, I was part of the Ellensburg Rodeo this year, much like last year. Hoping to continue that tradition here in the coming years as well. So that explains the absence a couple of weeks ago for the first home game for the Wildcats. So apologies for that, but luckily I had some connections there, able to bring in a guest crew, get the call off for you guys. And return going to be near the 40-yard line at around the 37.
With the return out to the 37-yard line.
More players scrapping up for Mount Baker.
First and 10, Mount Baker.
Well, if this game and last week's game is any indication of what troubles the Wildcats still have, special teams still going to be one of them. Long snapping, still an issue. Kicking, still an issue. Punting, because of the long snapping, still an issue. And if the Wildcats want to make a deep playoff run, they have to clean those things up. You cannot be a team, and especially once you play those higher level, those teams that are have more depth, have more talent, you're going to need to count on your punters and your kickers to do their job. And so far tonight, it hasn't been that they haven't been able to kick it or punt it. It has been that the ball has not been able to get there. And so here we go. First down and 10 underneath center. Landon Smith. From underneath. Stepping back, takes a 7-step drop. He's going to get the pass. Ball is picked off. And another turnover there by Mount Baker. Jeremiah Zuniga with the big interception there. 6:20 remaining here in the fourth and final quarter. Well, when you're Mount Baker, I mean, you really don't have the time to run the ball anymore. What else are you to do? And this is one of the difficulties you have when you're primarily a running team, when all you really do is just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. When you're down by as big as the Mount Baker Mountaineers are right now, you have to take risk and you have to put it through the air. You have to at least attempt, if that's the only way you're going to be able to get points on the board and perhaps close down this lead that the Wildcats have. But it's probably going to be too little too late considering the amount of time remaining. New quarterback out in the field. And rushing attempt there. Good for about 4 yards. So the backup quarterback has come in. That's C.J. Torres, just a sophomore. So he's going to be some action. And, of course, that would mean that Joshua Perez's night is pretty much finished, and rightfully so, especially considering he's still dealing with that hand injury on his throwing hand. No need to put him in any type of danger from here on out, especially with less than 6 minutes remaining in this contest, and pretty much the Wildcats have a win locked up. Ozuna running straight through the middle again. No gain on that one.
No gain. Third down and 5.
Third down and about 5 yards. Let's see what they're going to draw up for C.J. Torres. Are they going to have him put it through the air here? And, you know, I came out before the season began and did some pre-production meetings and interviews with the Toppenish Wildcats, and they really like their quarterback possibilities, especially for the coming future, especially after Joshua Perez graduates after this season. They feel like they have some great options coming up. Ozuna slipping through, close to a new first set of downs, but just short, about a yard.
4 yards.
Fourth down coming up.
Fourth down, 1 yard
What do you
to
do
go.
in this part of the
Fourth
field?
and 1.
I mean, do you just run it, or do you, again, attempt another running play? Or, excuse me, a passing play? Or C.J. Torres, the new signal caller down out there, the backup quarterback for the Wildcats, as this game has essentially been sealed. And, of course, with Joshua Perez suffering some minor injuries, they kind of don't want to put him at risk anymore. Still pushing forward, Ozuna, and Mount Baker stepping up and making the stop, and turnover there by the Wildcats.
Over to the
4 minutes, 16 seconds remaining.
10.
And we're getting an update on the scores from other games from around the league here in the 1A SCAC. Royal pretty much putting a good offensive showing and a shutout versus the Zilla Leopards. They lead them 42-0 here, start of the fourth quarter for them. Landon Smith with the pass completed. Trying to keep him in bounds, and
Pass is complete.
it's completed.
Midfield, number 12.
So the clock is going to keep running.
Landon
Did not make it out of
Smith.
bounds. And the Wildcats just going to let this one go. Second down and about 5 yards to go after that completion by Landon Smith. 2, number 12, Landon Hanstead. Now, what a great game
Second
here.
down and 6.
Competitive first half and a breaking second half here as Michaels almost losing that ball, able to keep it. George with a good attempt there.
Marcus
The
George
clock is slowly
gains another
winding
first
down.
For Mount Baker at the 36-yard line of the Wildcats.
You know, Mount Baker just facing a much deeper, much more talented team in the Toppenish Wildcats. When you have a great wide receiver, when you have a great quarterback, a defense that's young but capable of getting back and recovering from their mistakes, the Wildcats have a chance at a great season here this season. Oh, and breaking away, long ball, and a touchdown.
There's a touchdown
Two.
for Mount Baker, number 83.
83,
Staten.
Tanyan Staten from Landon Smith.
A 36-yard touchdown strike.
So 2:43 remaining here in this contest. The defense giving up a big play there, giving up a touchdown. Or excuse me, it looks like they did not give up the, or it looks like they did. Well, there it goes. Interesting to score in the possession here. So 2-point conversion here to come. Either way, the Wildcat defense still has a lot of work to do. They're still young. And ball tipped and falls
Pass
incomplete.
And the score
There as
now, Wildcats 48.
Keanu Zuniga
Mount Baker
on the
Mountaineers
coverage versus
31.
Staten. 2:42 remaining. We're going to take a small break, step aside, be back here for the final 2:42 of this fourth quarter. Be back, THS Digital Media Network. And welcome back here to THS Digital Media Network. 2:42 remaining in this contest. We'd like to thank you from wherever you may be at. This is the THS Digital Media Network. I am Antonio Tony D. Dominguez on the call, on the mic for you. First time this season. Just quick kick in the middle. Wildcats just going to get on it. 2:40 remaining
And the Wildcats
in the
take
fourth
over
quarter.
at their own 32-yard line.
Wildcats
First and
still
10.
up by 2 possessions. It's going to be a real long shot for the Mount Baker Mountaineers to be a little bit more competitive in this contest. And let's see who the quarterback is. I believe they're still going to stick with the backup. And indeed, it is Torres. CJ Torres, to be exact. Signal caller, Ozuna, finding a lane and still keeps finding running room. Ozuna hasn't had a lot of carries here tonight, but making them count late in this contest.
Out to the 41-yard line.
Ozuna, one of those running backs. They have 3 of them, the Wildcats say. 3 of them that they want to give the ball to. Of course, Timmy Torres last year, 1,000-yard running back. And he has 1 touchdown in this contest, still less than 50 rushing yards. And Ozuna finding carries, hitting the hole, trying to get a first down. And he's able to get the first down. Finally brought down. We're going to be at near the 2-minute warning. And another new first down for the Wildcats.
First and 10.
They get one more first down here. That should be the end of the game. They should be able to kneel the ball the rest of the way out. Give credit, though, to Mount Baker. Driving probably closer to 4 or 5 hours to get to Toppenish, Washington. Toppenish, Washington is located in the middle of Washington State. A little more southern, southern part of Washington.
The ball carrier. There is penalty
Flag on the play after the rush attempt there by the Wildcats. More likely going to be holding against them.
Against the Wildcats.
And 1:37 going to be remaining there. So they're going to be brought back 10 yards, in which should be a 10-second runoff to go along with it. And the clock starts. Torres gets a pass. Wildcats on the outside, finding a lane, and finally brought down after a gain of about 6 yards. Nice reception there by number 15, Alec Zapian, a sophomore. Now CJ Torres felt comfortable making that pass to the outside. It's great to see from your backup quarterback. For those of you wondering, Joshua Perez, that's the end of his night. He did get banged up. He's dealing with the injury to his throwing hand. He's getting taped up a little bit. And obviously with the score the way it is, in the direction of this game, they did not want to risk Joshua Perez being out in the field unless he absolutely needed to be down there, or out there I should say. And so 48 seconds remaining. Second down and about 14, 15 yards to go. And so, bringing it back up here inside the broadcast booth. Fortunately, you can't see me, but one day, hey, we'll have the production value, and you'll be able to see me who I am. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody tuning in. My 10th year here broadcasting for Yakima Valley Sports. As my old mentor Bob Clark used to say, the local sports authority here around these parts, and indeed I am. I like to say from here on out, from Cle Elum all the way down to Prosser, coverage of all these great teams down in this part of the state. I'd like to give a good shout out over there to Jeff Place, JeffPlaceSports.com, of course, broadcasting for his Prosser Mustangs up at the 2A level. And of course, over to the Royal Knights broadcast team over there, and Michael and his partners over there. I'd like to thank them for filling in a couple of weeks ago, first game of the season. Coincidentally happened to be versus Royal, so happy they were able to fill in for me and provide you with the better production, a little bit better of an experience without having me on board. So either way, I'm going to be here the rest of the season. And once again, what's looking to be another great season for the Wildcats. And they got one more non-league game next week. It's going to be up at Kashmir. And fortunately, we won't be broadcasting that game, but I'll certainly be there, more than likely, in person. And we hope that if you're able to make it up there now, special start time, more than likely next week. That is a 5 p.m. kickoff. 5 p.m. kickoff over at Kashmir High School. Two good teams battling it out. And the Wildcats hoping to pick up their third straight win.
Congratulations to the Wildcats.
And that is it.
Thank you, everyone.
Final score, 48-31.
3 weeks.
Shane Rivera with 2 receiving touchdowns.
Cornell Eagles.
Joshua Perez with 2 rushing touchdowns. So many yards through the air. Limited on the ground here tonight, but nonetheless, Wildcats able to put it together nice and cleanly in the second half. Give Mount Baker credit, though. They came out fighting in the first half. Unfortunately, the depth and the talent of the Toppenish Wildcats, too much for the much smaller and limited roster of the Mount Baker Mountaineers, but nonetheless, putting up a great fight here tonight. And so, reminder, we will be on air a couple of weeks from now. Next week, Wildcats heading to Kashmir, taking on the Kashmir Bulldogs over there. Another 1A foe in a different league, though. I believe over there it's the Caribou Trail. So keep track of that. Hopefully you can make it out to the game. If not, more than likely I believe they're going to be streaming it. If not, we'll catch you right back here next time here on the THS Digital Media Network. Anyways, folks, long trip home. Thank you for joining us here exclusively on the THS Digital Media Network. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and never miss out on another THS Digital Media event. And remember, always keep rooting for your Wildcats, and we hope that you keep tuning in, and we will never, never try to miss any more events or games from here on out. Anyways, folks, shout out to everybody, all the sports broadcasters. I already mentioned Jeff Place and the Royal Knights media crew. Of course, Doug Davis over there at Zillow Sports, also still running his own program. Anyways, been a great night. Wildcats with the win, 48-31. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a good night. God bless. See you out there.